with more complete coverage from across southern Nevada to where you live. This is News 13 inside Las Vegas, live at 6.
For the first time, we see why a Valley man was sent to prison for a crime police say he did not commit.
Prosecutors plan to call stuntmen who worked with actor Robert Blake as key witnesses in his murder trial.
But our top story tonight, a key clue in a local murder mystery. A story that you saw on News 13 last night helps to identify the body. But with that break in the case comes some very bad news for the Valley family.
Sure.
We're going to have that story in just a moment, but first we have some breaking news to tell you about. I'm Cathy Ray.
And I'm Ross Becker. A would-be robber gets shot at by a restaurant owner. It's happening right now in the eastern part of the Valley. It's right outside a Mexican restaurant near the intersection of Charleston and Eastern. Our crime team reporter Dave Malkoff is there live right now with the latest details. Dave.
Yeah, we're still trying to talk to Metro detectives out here, but this is a bakery, Weber's Bakery right here, and what we believe is there was a robbery attempt here just about a half an hour ago, and the man was shot. And we are still trying to hear information from Metro detectives who are still checking out the scene. When they come and talk to us, we'll bring you more information as soon as it becomes available. We are just east of Eastern on Charleston. I'm Dave Malkoff, News 13, inside Las Vegas.
Dave, just to confirm, this is a bakery and not a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, it's a bakery. It's Weber's Bakery Outlet, so I'm guessing that's a bakery thrift shop here on Eastern or Charleston, just east of Eastern.
And any traffic situations that everybody should know about?
Well, they've actually shut down Charleston here for a section just on the north side of the street here. So on the eastbound lane, it's shut down just for a couple blocks.
All right, Dave Malkoff, keep us up to date.
Sure. Back to our top story tonight. We now know the identity of a body found off of US 95 near the Mount Charleston turnoff last Thursday.
Yeah, and tonight a mother who thought her daughter was missing is now dealing with her death. The crime team Shawn Boyd talked exclusively with the girl's mother today. Shawn, her daughter had been missing for several weeks, right?
That's right, roughly 3 weeks. Although she never filed a missing persons report. That's because disappearing for weeks at a time was something Nyesha Johnson did quite often. Only this time, she didn't come home.
My baby, she's supposed to be getting ready to go to prom. She's supposed to be getting ready to graduate from high school. I don't get to see.
Marie Johnson remembers her 17-year-old daughter, Nyesha. She liked to be called Candy, but her life turned out to be anything but sweet. Her body was found off US 95 last Thursday. Authorities only knew her as Jane Doe until last night.
More clues tonight into the identity of another murder victim, and maybe you can help. A young
News 13 aired a photo of the jewelry investigators found on her body. Candy's sister Lisa was watching and suddenly knew tragedy had just hit.
Her grandmother gave her that watch. No one else in Vegas has a watch like that.
Candy had been missing for about 3 weeks, but her mother says it wasn't uncommon for her to disappear that long, so she never filed a missing persons report. However, what was different was that Candy did not call home to check in. Her mother had a nagging feeling something was wrong.
You know, you get something in the pit of your stomach, and it just stays there, and it doesn't leave, and you know something just isn't right. You can feel it because those are your children, you know.
The coroner showed her pictures of Candy late last night, photos a far cry from these. They confirmed what she did not want to believe.
No, that was my baby. I carried her for 9 months. Why would somebody do this to my baby? Why? Why would you take her like that? Why?
Now all she has left of Candy are the family photos and the memories of a child who loved life, but who had hers cut short.
Love your children. Hug your children. Tell your children that you love them today, because you don't know if you'll get tomorrow to say that to them.
Now to top it all off, Marie Johnson had just been let go from her job as a waitress. So at this point, she does not have any money to bury her child. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Shawn Boyd, News 13 inside Las Vegas. Rob.
Shawn, we know a lot now about the victim, but do the police know anything about how this happened, Candy's killers, where they might be, anything?
Well, right now, police are keeping most of the details that they know quiet. Of course, they do that on a regular basis to try and protect their case. But at this point, the killer of Nyesha, or Candy, as she liked to be called, is still out there somewhere, and they are desperately looking for him.
All right, Shawn, thank you.
Bet.
A mix-up at the Metro Police Crime Lab could have sent a man to prison for a crime he did not commit. And today, for the first time, we're actually able to see what caused that problem. News 13's Mark Sayre joins us with this story. Mark.
Well, Cathy, in this era of high-tech DNA testing, it may seem hard to believe that a simple human error could have such high-stakes consequences.
It is a case that will likely be the memory of a lifetime for Deputy Public Defenders Darren Imlay and Bridget Hoffman.
It was really quite amazing.
Their client was this man, Lazaro Sotalucen. In jail on an immigration matter, he was accused by another prisoner, Joseph Coppola, of rape. So both men's DNA samples were sent to the Metro Crime Lab for analysis. But when the results came back, the attorneys were stunned. Sotalucen's DNA also matched that taken from two different rape victims in earlier unsolved crimes.
He had maintained his innocence throughout the time when I first met with him, and he had been very adamant to Darren Imlay and myself that he was not the person who did either of these offenses.
So the public defenders hired an outside expert, and take a look at this. Here is the original lab work on Coppola. But when the data was transferred to the final report, Sotalucen's name was listed next to Coppola's DNA data.
The science was correct. The DNA testing and protocols were correct. It was when they put the results to papers where they made the mistake.
Metro Deputy Chief Ray Flynn says the Metro Lab has now halted all DNA work and is reviewing every DNA case from last year when this error occurred.
We're going to look first off, how did it occur? And if it was a mistake, what do we need to do to ensure it doesn't happen again, whether it's going to be policies and procedures or maybe some retraining of the individuals.
The public defenders say their client is obviously relieved. Would they do it all again?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If it's something that's going to proceed on to trial, we need to make sure that the case against our client is actually there.
Now, the district attorney has dropped the rape charges against Sotalucen, but today we could not reach DA Stu Bell or his chief deputy Chuck Thompson to see if a decision has been made on whether to prosecute Coppola in those unsolved rape cases. We'll keep you posted. With more complete coverage, I'm Mark Sayre, News 13 inside Las Vegas.
There's new information on the murder case against actor Robert Blake. Stuntmen on the television series Beretta are expected to testify against him. The men say Blake tried to hire them to kill his wife, Bonnie Lee Bakley. Robert Blake, who starred on that series, has been arrested for murdering Bakley. His attorney says the men are expected to be key witnesses against Blake, but still, he doesn't buy their story.
These kind of witnesses really amount to nothing. Also, they're always uncorroborated. In other words, they're talking about something that they can make up out of whole cloth or elaborate some other comment, and so they're usually worthless witnesses.
The actor has pleaded not guilty to the murder and to 2 counts of solicitation of murder, conspiracy, and the special circumstance of lying in wait. Bakley was shot while sitting in the couple's car last May.
At the Vatican, the American Catholic Cardinals are making some progress, coming up with a way to deal with sexually abusive priests. Late today, they announced the framework for a plan that will help the church move past the recent sex scandals. 6 proposals include a new process to dismiss abusive priests, a closer relationship with law enforcement, and a special day of prayer to renew faith in Catholicism.
It seems to me that the question of the reassignment of priests or religious who have harmed children is still a thorny issue.
So meeting with the Pope, and he apparently weighed in on this plan. The American clerics are heading home now. They'll talk about this further at a conference in June.
2 native Las Vegas judges are moving up to higher chambers, you might say. This as the governor fills 2 vacant seats in the state's district court. News 13's Tiffani Sargent is here now to tell us who will take over at the bench. Tiffani.
Yes, they are the Honorable Michelle Leavitt and the Honorable Jennifer Tagliati. Both have extensive experience as both attorneys and as judges, and between them over the last 3 years, they've handled more than 70,000 criminal and civil cases. Judge Michelle Leavitt will soon take over in District Court's Department 12, taking over for now Federal Judge James Mahan. Meantime, Justice of the Peace Jennifer Tagliati will take over in Department 9, taking over the bench of retiring Judge Stephen Huffaker. Both justices say they are honored by their new appointments and they are eager to take on the new challenge.
And district court just allows you to do civil matters as well as criminal matters, and it allows you to handle more complex cases.
Hopefully being able to conduct your trials. That's my passion, and that's what the lawyers and the litigants want to see, is jury trials so that justice is served in a quick and efficient manner, and that's what I'm going to do.
Will be reduced. Both judges say it will be 2 to 3 weeks before they move to their new chambers. Meantime, they both plan to file to run in the November election in order to make their new appointments official among the people as well. With more continuous coverage, I'm Tiffani Sargent, News 13, inside Las Vegas.
A national environmental group wants to stop the widening of US 95, and it is suing to do it. The group, called the Sierra Club, announced that suit yesterday. It says the Department of Transportation must consider new research that shows people who live near similar projects have an increased risk of cancer and other health problems. But the DOT says the time has passed to question the project's environmental and health impact. It says construction will continue unless a court steps in to stop it.
Well, here in Nevada, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting, well, even less fortunate. At least that's according to a recent report by the Economic Policy Institute. Now, follow me on this. It says the research shows in the late 70s, the richest 20% of families was 6.5 times richer than the poorest families. Then, by the late 90s, the same group of wealthy families had nearly 9 times as much money. And Nevada has the 7th largest income inequity in the nation. There is a special episode tonight on 2020 Downtown.
It is very special. It's because it features Las Vegas. Last week, the production crew was filming here for tonight's show, and while they were taping, we were taping them. The behind-the-scenes look at tonight's program coming up.
And Harrah's Casino is being sued. A gambler says he didn't get his cash when he was rushed to the hospital. We'll explain coming up. Nate?
Nathan Tannenbaum live from the Samba Theater at the Rio, where we're just getting the Goodwill Award ceremony underway. We'll also talk about all the clouds and wind in the air and even a couple of sprinkles. The forecast in a few minutes.
Can you get your car looking like this without using any water at all? I'm Contact 13's Tricia Kean. Coming up, we'll show you the waterless car wash.
Now, with more complete coverage, News 13 continues with Ross Becker, Cathy Ray, Nathan Tannenbaum with your complete forecast, Ron Futrell Sports, and Tricia Kean with Contact 13. This is News 13 inside Las Vegas.
As the hot, dry summer creeps up on all of us here in southern Nevada, water usage restrictions here in the valley will soon go into effect.
There's good reason for those, obviously, too. Conserving water is a top priority to many of us during the summer months. Contact 13's Tricia Kean introduces us now to 2 women who have come up with a waterless car wash. I have to see this.
It's pretty cool. Is really, yeah, this is their business. Their motto is, get this, squirt the dirt. I think that's cute. Well, these women say car washes are expensive and waste gallons of water. They've come up with a waterless car wash, and you can judge whether or not it works. The days of those traditional car washes may soon be over. 150 gallons of drinking water are used to wash just one car. Believe it or not, you can have your car looking showroom sleek without any water, now that the waterless car wash has rolled into Las Vegas.
And they kind of laugh and they say, wireless car wash, how do you do that? We say, well, I could tell you about it in 30 minutes or I can show you in 30 seconds.
Contact 13 wanted a demonstration, but the van gave us a clue. They squirt the dirt away. And we had just the filthy truck in need of a major makeover, with dirty windows, dingy tires, and an oxidized bumper.
This is great. This will be perfect.
Using a product called Dry Wash and Guard.
So you just spray it on.
They began to wipe the dirt away.
And then buff it off.
Tippy did the same on the truck window. On the tire, she used a special treatment, then rubbed, leaving behind a non-greasy tire.
And it'll be like the natural tire that it was.
And it did the same thing for that old oxidized bumper. Tippy wiped away the oxidation and made it look like new again. The back window was really a mess, corroded with dirt. But in a matter of seconds, it looked new again. After a few minutes of a little elbow grease and their Dry Wash and Guard products, Tippy and her partner Tracy were able to make our dirty truck look new again, and without one drop of water. They truly did give us a waterless car wash. We're told this sleek, clean look will last a couple weeks and protect this vehicle from the hot summer sun.
The water starts to evaporate as quickly as it comes out, so you really don't want to be washing your car with water. You want to make sure that you do your part to conserve here in the valley.
And if you're interested in finding out more about the waterless car wash, here's a number to call: 1-888-ASK-TO-SEE or 1-888-275-2733. And coming up tomorrow on Contact 13, we'll put the dry wash and guard house cleaner to the test. We'll see if that really works on your house like it does on your car. Okay, and finally from Contact 13, if you think you've been the victim of a scam or a ripoff, call the Contact 13 hotline. There's the number, 368-2255. Now, the hotline is open Monday through Friday between the hours of 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. And go call that hotline if you have a problem.
Sure. Well, we'll try the car
Dry
wash.
wash and guard house cleaner test.
Yeah.
So they come inside and they...
I'm just going to tell you one thing. Well, they don't come inside, but we tested the house cleaner.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll watch that tomorrow.
Come to my house next time.
It's cool. It's cool. You'll like
I
it.
could use some help. Okay, Tricia, thank you. Well, some Georgia cops are getting a new ride. Not a patrol car, not a motorcycle. Check this out. Look at that. It's the first city to try out the new Segway scooters for police officers. Pretty neat. 10 scooters will be used by officers and security guards to patrol 200 city blocks. The two-wheeled scooter zips along up to 15 miles per hour.
No more high-speed chases.
Couldn't you see that along the strip?
Yeah.
The cops and these up and down the strip.
Save shoe leather.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nate Tannenbaum out live tonight. He's at the Rio Samba Theater.
He's very quiet out there, emceeing the annual Goodwill Industries Awards banquet.
Yep. We are out here having a great time. You guys having a good time so far at the annual Goodwill Award ceremony? We just got the program underway. You might have heard the national anthem in the background just a few minutes ago, but I know you guys are very concerned about the clouds and the wind that has picked up, and even you folks up in the northwest part of town might be seeing a sprinkle or two. We don't think it's going to amount to a whole heck of a lot. You don't need to be too concerned about it, except if you washed your car today, it's probably your fault. While photographer Chris Banka takes a look out at the crowd here, we're going to put the 6 o'clock numbers up here for you and show you just exactly what's going on. We do have a lot of clouds, and it is kind of windy. We have dropped down to 79 degrees. Go ahead and wave, everybody. You might see yourselves on TV. Humidity is 21%. The wind is out of the west at 17, while the barometer is rising at 29.98. Now I'll show you your numbers from today. Believe it or not, despite the cloud cover, we made it to 85 for the high, although that is down from yesterday's 90. Low this morning, a very comfortable 64. Now let's talk about your air quality. It is in the moderate category. I have a couple of moderate readings of dust and ozone in a couple of neighborhoods around town. Good news for mulberry pollen sufferers, it is way down. However, the olive pollen counts are on the rise, and they are in the high category. Well, where did these clouds come from? They are sneaking up from the subtropical jet stream. Now, that's a fancy term that just means they're coming from old Mexico. And yes, you did see a couple of radar blips on there. We think this is a fairly fast-moving system, however, and the low-pressure system sitting there spinning off the California coast will move inland during the day tomorrow, leading to actually a better chance for some rain here on Friday. Now, here's the day-in temperatures without cloud cover. Take a look at Phoenix, making it into the 90s today. And your family and friends across the country, well, it's been a fairly cool day to get started, and very warm across the southwest. And also, some severe thunderstorms have been marching across the country. That's what those yellow triangles are about, the yellow rectangles. The red ones, tornado watches, stretching from Texas all the way up into portions of Kentucky and Tennessee. But let's head on back home and do the Natecast for the rest of tonight. Cloudy, yeah, a sprinkle is definitely possible in some parts of town. Don't think it'll be measurable precipitation, although it could be. 64 when you get up and at 'em in the morning. The rain should have moved on, but it will be breezy tomorrow. Southwesterlies maybe to 25 miles an hour. We think the high temperature will remain where it was today. That is into the mid-80s. Now you're heading out to the recreation areas. Mount Charleston, believe it or not, a snowflake's possible up in the extreme higher elevations. 38 in the morning, windy, and the upper 50s the high tomorrow. Out at the lake, a sprinkle possible before it goes away tonight. The low 60s for your low, and the upper 80s for the high tomorrow. And again, south winds to 25. Now here's your 5-day forecast. We mentioned the possibility of rain on Friday. That'll keep the temperature down to around 80, possibly the upper 70s. 82 and breezy for Saturday, 83 for Sunday, and then cooler again on Monday. As always, if you're looking for more information, check out the Natecast on the bottom of the weather page in the Las Vegas Review-Journal. And Ross and Cathy, while you guys get back to the news, we're going to get back to the award ceremony here at the Samba Theater. Thanks, everybody. What do you think? Live weather at the Samba Theater.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
First.
It is a first, I think.
Okay, Nate.
Thank you. All right, time now for the Sports Minute.
Ron is here with an update on a story we told you about yesterday.
Fast cars we're talking about tonight.
Viper.
We all like, yes,
Mustang.
that's one of them. We all like seeing fast cars out there. So here's what the cars are going to look like for the new track racing series. Coming to Las Vegas, they're going to use Corvettes, Vipers, and Mustangs. The cars will have identical 600 horsepower engines. That should be enough power for them, okay? They plan to begin racing in the spring of next year. At least 3 races will be held in Las Vegas, the first year at least. And then they will run on the 1.5-mile oval, the big track out at the Speedway. They're looking for night races, mostly on Saturday night, so they won't compete against NASCAR. The team concept is something new here. Las Vegas will have a team. Each team will use 3 drivers in all 3 cars in the competition so that things will be equal. Standings are going to be figured on points for how each of the drivers do. Interesting concept here, to be a driver for a city instead of for yourself. Other markets proposed for teams are Los Angeles, Texas, Atlanta. They're also looking for a network TV deal, which should be announced soon. The Vegas team, by the way, is already listed as the Las Vegas Rollers. That may not be what the name is. They're still looking for local ownership and local drivers. More details later in sports.
That looks like fun.
Bet you guys can't wait to get behind the wheel of one of those cars.
They're looking for drivers right now. Wait a second.
Let's go.
Let's give it a shot.
All right, thanks a lot. Next time somebody asks you, do you want fries with that? You might want to think twice before saying yes.
Some brand new medical research suggests that French fries may contain a substance that causes cancer. Details still ahead.
But first, the combination of kids and stress often leads to violence. A look at how anger management classes can help next.
Instant weather at your fingertips. The News 13 weather line, 248-4800. Now, with more complete coverage, News 13 continues with the health team.
From the health team tonight, teen violence, it's always been a problem. Well, now the Clark County School District is taking steps to stop it before it starts. Many Clark County middle and high schools are now offering anger management programs. Psychologists say when teens don't express their feelings of anger, these bottled up emotions can turn into depression. The Nevada State Psychological Association says some teens even act out violently.
So the barrier between their emotions and then acting out negatively becomes thinner. And they feel like there's no really other alternative. They start to get narrowly focused.
The Nevada State Psychological Association presents teen violence forums to any school, church, or organization interested. For more information, call 876-1977. Well, we know that foods rich in carbohydrates can be fattening, right? Well, now scientists warn they may also contain a cancer-causing substance. The cancer risk is found in basic foods like fried, oven-baked, and even deep-fried potato and cereal products. Swedish scientists say bread, biscuits, potato chips, and French fries contain alarmingly high quantities of acrylamide. That's a substance believed to cause cancer. Now, this research is so new, so groundbreaking, that scientists released their data to the media before it was published in an academic journal. And finally tonight from the health team, some youngsters with cancer are taking a break from all the treatment right here in the Valley. 25 kids from across the country are enjoying a Vegas getaway. They're part of the Sunshine Kids. That's a nonprofit foundation that sends young cancer patients on vacations. The kids are accompanied by a doctor and a nurse, and they get to spend time with other children with whom they can relate. Well, today the kids went bowling out at Texas Station. They had a great time. One of them told us he thinks Las Vegas is a lot more than Sin City.
It's just fun. Not just because you come to Vegas doesn't mean you have to do all the slot machines and everything. I mean, I'm only 14, so it doesn't matter. You get to have fun going to shows and stuff.
Brad, you are right on there. The kids also visited the Excalibur and the Stratosphere. Ross?
All right, well, there's been a series of convenience store robberies in the Valley, and one of them is caught on tape. Now police need your help to catch these criminals. The crime team has more. Details ahead.
You're watching more complete coverage from across Southern Nevada to where you live. This is News 13 inside Las Vegas, live at 6:30.
Investigators now say they know why 2 trains hit head-on yesterday in Southern California.
A man is rushed to the hospital while playing blackjack. He suffered seizures. So where did all of his winnings go? That story ahead.
But first, our cameras following the crew of 2020 Downtown as they cruise Las Vegas for tonight's broadcast. And you're going to want to see 2020 Downtown tonight because the entire show is about Las Vegas. Hello again, I'm Ross Becker.
I'm Cathy Ray. The ABC News spent the last couple of weeks shooting here in town. Tonight, you're going to see the final product. News 13's Dave Malkoff was there, and he has a behind-the-scenes look at what you'll see tonight.
The blasting light down on Fremont Street always gathers quite a crowd, but once the lights go down,
I need one of those guys over here to watch this.
They set up some more.
What's he doing over here?
One-time only show.
This will be on Wednesday if you want to check it out.
Really? With stars anyone would recognize.
I see him all the time, but I can't remember his name.
I'm sorry it's so messy there.
He's nice looking. Chris Cuomo.
I think they're filming the news.
And John Quinones.
Quinones? I can't say the last name.
Quinones. 2020.
Really? I'll have to start watching 2020. And the other guy, too. I think
All right. Where are you guys from?
Both guys have spent a long time here in town.
On and off for the last couple of weeks. First doing the story, now we're back just to shoot the pages for the show.
Coming up later, a downtown exclusive.
Several stories, all about Vegas.
I've spent more time here than anyone else of the other correspondents, and I've had a blast. I mean, I've been the luckiest. Probably about 10 days. I'm doing 2 stories that'll be on tonight.
John talked to the mayor about how Las Vegas has changed.
The mayor was quite a character. I mean, I had the pleasure of riding with him in a convertible up and down the strip.
Positive. At least my experience with Mr. Quinones was very positive.
He says the wackiest things.
You know, obviously, we're taking different slices of Vegas and trying to introduce the town to America.
Chris Cuomo's story focuses on someone we all know well.
If you haven't been to Vegas recently, you probably don't know who Danny Gans is. But once you get here, there's no one who's more all over the place than Danny Gans is. And then once you see his show, you understand what the attraction is all about.
And 3 more stories the nation will see tonight.
All right, let's do this.
Stories from our hometown.
And even as this town reinvents itself, certain icons never go out of style. We'll be right back.
With more complete coverage, Dave Malkoff, News 13, inside Las Vegas.
Well, once again, that is tonight at 10, right here on News 13. And at News 13 at 11, Dave will have more on what it takes to put together a show like that on the road.
All right, local news now. A teenage girl known to police as Jane Doe until last night. The girl's sister and mother saw a picture right here on News 13, and suddenly they knew why they hadn't heard from her in days. Naisha Johnson, known as Candy, was found dead along the side of the road leading to Mount Charleston last Thursday. Her mother told us she'd been missing for about 3 weeks, but that wasn't uncommon. But this time, Candy did not call in to check. News 13 aired pictures of Candy's jewelry last night, and Marie Johnson knew it was her.
Yeah, my baby, she's supposed to be getting ready to go to prom. She's supposed to be getting ready to graduate from high school. I don't get to see.
The coroner showed pictures to Candy's mother late last night, and she confirmed her identity. Police are still looking for Candy's killer.
More from the crime team tonight. An armed robber handcuffs a store clerk and covers his eyes with duct tape. And that robbery is all caught on tape. Police are asking for your help in identifying these robbery suspects. Take a look if you can. This happened back in April on the 11th at a convenience store on East Desert Inn. While the female robber forced the clerk to the back of the store, well, that's where the male suspect was waiting to tie him up. If you recognize either of them, call Secret Witness right away.
The woman accusing Celine Dion's husband of rape is now facing some legal troubles herself. The 46-year-old woman is in a California jail accused of writing $500,000 worth of bad checks to 2 Las Vegas casinos. She was arrested in Pasadena and may fight extradition to Nevada. Last month, that woman filed a police report claiming Renee Angelil raped her 2 years ago. She's also suing him in civil court. He denies it. Now, this is an interesting story. A Texas man is suing Harrah's Casino in Louisiana. He says he didn't get his winnings after he had to be taken to the hospital. Eldon Clements says he suffered a seizure while playing blackjack last year. He also says he was up 20 grand at the time. Well, Clements was taken to the hospital, and in all the chaos, his winnings were left right there on the table. After calling for 6 months and getting nowhere, Clements is suing now to get his cash.
High winds are making it worse for firefighters in Colorado.
Yeah, they're trying to control a raging wildfire in Bailey. You can see from these pictures here just how big this fire is. These are pictures from the air, of course. The blaze is now more than 1,200 acres. It keeps changing directions all the time because of the fierce winds. Firefighters on the ground are getting help from the Forest Service using planes to drop water on this fire. The freight train in yesterday's deadly collision ran a red light just before it slammed into the commuter train, and all of it was caught on videotape. A nearby business just happened to have a security camera pointed that way. Now, if you watch closely, you can see the freight train pushing the metro train back. It's Today, the tracks are expected to reopen. 2 people on board the Metrolink train were killed. More than 200 were injured. No word yet if any charges will be filed against the engineer of the freight train.
A guilty verdict today in Massachusetts for the man who opened fire on his co-workers last year. Michael McDermott is found guilty on all 7 counts of murder. McDermott testified that he thought at the time of the killings he was killing Nazis wearing swastika armbands. Well, the jury rejected his plea of insanity. McDermott was immediately sentenced to 7 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole. A woman known for clowning around is making a big difference in our community.
She sure is. She is the recipient of a Jefferson Award. We're going to show you her exceptional volunteer work still ahead.
But first, it's a growing problem here in Southern Nevada. So why won't one Valley insurance company cover toxic mold? Contact 13 investigates. That's next. We have some more breaking news tonight. A young girl was grazed by a bullet in downtown Las Vegas just a short time ago. Police say the 9-year-old little girl was playing outside of her home. It was at 10th and Bridger at the time. Luckily, we're told she's not seriously hurt, but officers are now combing through that area. They're looking for the gunman. They don't believe the girl was the target. We have a crew on the way. We'll have the very latest information as soon as it becomes available to us. Another news tonight, toxic mold. It's certainly a growing problem, big problem for homeowners here in Southern Nevada.
That's right. It costs a lot of money to fix it. Now another insurance company may not pay for those repairs. Contact 13's Tricia Kean is here with details. This could be big news.
This could be. You know, we told you yesterday about State Farm Insurance that they would be stopping
California,
right? In California. It's really unbelievable. Now Allstate may do the same thing right here in Nevada. We've reported several families who are dealing with mold problems, and with so many costly claims, State Farm said it couldn't afford to offer mold coverage to new policyholders. Now some Allstate customers are hearing that Allstate won't be offering any new coverage to new customers here in Nevada either. Well, your kids may think that they know everything, but when it comes to money, apparently many of them cannot make the grade. The Federal Reserve tested about 4,000 high school seniors, and on average, they flunked. 69% of kids in the test said that they wouldn't be liable for charges made to a stolen credit card. Truth is, you're liable for $50 once you've been notified. 80% said a savings account or a savings bond would be the best way to save for a child's education. Investing in stocks actually brings the highest growth. And here's a sign that kids aren't looking ahead. Only a third of the students tested knew that a company's retirement fund is called a pension. Another, about a third, thought pensions and Social Security were the same thing. So if you want to take a look at this study or test your own smarts, just go to our website at yourinsidelasvegas.com. Well, consumers aren't feeling so comfortable this week. That's according to ABC News. This week's ABC News Money Magazine Consumer Comfort Index dropped 6 points. That's the biggest drop since the recession began. Analysts say higher gas prices and the ups and downs of the stock market could be to blame. In all, 41% of Americans give the nation's economy a very good rating. That's down 3 points. Well, Contact 13 has a couple of product recalls to tell you about tonight. The Energy Smart Power Planner is designed to save electricity, but it could pose a shock hazard. So far, there have been no reports of injuries, but the company is recalling it just to be on the safe side. The Power Planner was sold at Home Depot and Costco from September 2000 up until now. Now, if you have one of these, unplug it and call this number 1-800-808-8897 for a replacement. And Horizon Fitness has recalled the Paragon, Quantum, and Omega treadmills. They say the treadmills could suddenly speed up and cause injuries. The recall affects the 2000 and 2001 models. So if you have one, call this number 1-888-993-3199 to get a repair kit. And finally, from Contact 13, if you have a complaint with something you bought or you've been the victim of a scam or a ripoff, you can go online and file a complaint with Contact 13. The form is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just go to our website at yourinsidelasvegas.com and click on the online complaint form button. Make sure to include all the contact information. We will get right back to you. I'm kind of laughing because I've said 3 times. Just check out our website. Yeah, well, bottom line, you can file a complaint and other things are on there as well.
Okay, Tricia, thank you. You know, we have a couple of breaking news situations going on right now. The first one at 10th and Bridger, the little girl grazed by a bullet. Now this other one, we're getting some more information about the shooting near a bakery.
It's happening in the east part of the valley. It broke just after 6 o'clock, or just before, I should say, 6 o'clock. It's right near the intersection of Charleston and Eastern. Crime team reporter Dave Malkoff is there live. He's got new information. Dave.
Oh, yeah, Russ, we just talked to Metro Homicide, and they tell us that this actually started at a Mexican restaurant right about a quarter of a mile away from here. There was a woman in the back of the Mexican restaurant. She found a man in the front with his hand in the register pulling money out, and then the restaurant's owner chased that man out with a gun. He didn't fire any shots until he got right here to this Weber's Bakery outlet. This is where this man apparently tried to carjack a woman inside the, we were having some video problems here. But
all right, if you had a hard time hearing that, in that bakery, apparently this gunman had tried to carjack a woman's car, and that's why this whole incident happened. We're going to obviously try to get more information for you, this breaking story tonight.
All righty. Well, News 13's Nate Tannenbaum, he is out live tonight at the Rio Samba Room.
That's right. He's there with the Goodwill Industries Award ceremony, interrupting the ceremony to do the weather.
You betcha, but we don't mind interrupting the ceremony to talk about the weather, do we, folks? Are we doing okay? We're having a ball here, presenting awards to businesses that have partnered up with Goodwill, and especially to graduates of the Goodwill Vocational Services Training Program. But we do want to take a break to talk about the weather, because I know the clouds have been building up outside. It's gotten very windy and even a couple of sprinkles. Let's go. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. We got something else going on here. Hey, look who's here. It's Penn Teller.
You know, you're inside. You're indoors here. I just drove over in my Mini, and the weather outside is frightful. It's getting horrible. It's getting horrible. There are, the clouds are gathering, as you said, but you're just getting information out here. There's actually a tornado. There's a tornado coming right down Rainbow. There's a full tornado warning.
Thank you. Okay.
There are floods.
Oh, my God.
There's a typhoon.
Famine?
There's typhoon. There's some famine going on. There's a dust storm. If it's bad, it's happening out. I suggest if you're home, go in the root cellar. Get into the root cellar. Pretend you're a Mormon. You need like 2 years of food, maybe 3 years of food, and 7 or 8 wives that you want to board in the cellar.
Thank you so
because
much.
We're going to hell, people.
You know this guy?
It says it in the sky. We are going to hell.
Thank you very much.
It's Sin City, and it's time to pay. The weather has come to roost. Goodwill is doing what they can to appease the gods, but it looks like we're going to hell. And we're the ones to report that. Go.
Thank you.
Gather all of your lying weather. Try to sell this into happiness. But we're going to hell.
Keep an eye on him, would you? Thank you. Penn Teller. Let's go ahead and show you them. Let's go. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and give you the 6 o'clock numbers, and I think you've heard the forecast from Penn Teller. We're not going to have time to get through all of this, but it did make 85 today before apparently rampant destruction wreaked itself on... okay, the air quality is... despite what Penn Jillette said, the air quality is actually moderate. It's okay out there, folks. The pollen counts are actually in the high category. Mulberry pollen counts are down. Olive pollen counts are up, and I don't know what the stock market did. Clouds are continuing to move up. That is pretty much the bottom line. Let's go ahead and bring it back here live to the Samba Theater at the Rio, where Penn Teller will be performing after we're done with the Goodwill Award ceremony. So we're going to go ahead and get back to the Goodwill Award ceremony, and just wanted to let you know that everything actually is okay. A little bit cloudy, a little bit windy, but no rampant destruction.
It's okay. You're wiping your forehead, Nate.
Poor thing.
I'm frightened, Auntie Em.
Take a deep breath, Nate. Deep breath.
Thanks to Penn Teller.
Yeah.
I mean it.
Okay, Nate, thank you. Don't you love live TV?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, you know, so far you have met 2 of the Valley's outstanding volunteers, and tonight we are introducing you to the last but certainly not the least of the Jefferson Awards winners.
That's right. Her name is Kelly Harrington, also known as Rainbow the Clown. Team 13's Christine Chang shows us a day in the life of this community volunteer.
Her friends know her as Kelly Harrington, but most people call her Rainbow the Clown.
As I believe love comes in all colors of the rainbow. I believe that we're all brothers and sisters, regardless of sexuality, race, color, creed.
Kelly started dressing up as Rainbow 8 years ago. Putting smiles on people's faces is a passion, but she's been volunteering in the community since she was 7. And growing up wasn't easy. Kelly learned her first lesson at age 10 when a dog attacked her.
My face was ripped to shreds. I mean, it looked like meat.
And I got really lucky, and I had a really good doctor that doctored it up. Now I have these 2 dimples.
The scars taught her not to judge people, and volunteering has also helped her be thankful.
Volunteering and seeing people who are worse off than you makes you feel like, I don't have any problems.
So every week, Kelly puts on the wig and heads out to senior homes and hospitals for a visit.
My daughter's 15 months old. She goes with me. And I wouldn't have it any other way. It's going to teach her a lot.
How much is that dog?
Kelly also recruits families to go with her. She says it's important to start teaching kids when they're young.
I'm a very blessed person. Because I do this, my life is very full and very blessed. God takes such good care of me. And I want her to experience the happiness and the joy that I experience.
A full-time mom with a full-time job. Even with her busy schedule, Kelly still finds time to help others. For Team 13, I'm Christine Chang, News 13, inside Las Vegas.
Her smile is so infectious.
Special lady.
She really is. Kelly also volunteers for the Candle Lighters, and that's a program, of course, kids with cancer.
Yeah, it is. Well, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we will announce which of our 3 volunteers will be representing our city in Washington, D.C. this June National Conference. We wish them all well.
You bet.
A new race circuit is getting ready to roll into town. We're going to have a preview.
And people are shelling out the dough for Tyson Lewis tickets. Ron has that and more. That's all coming up next in sports.
Now, with more complete coverage, News 13 continues with Ron Futrell and the sports team.
All right, this could be the biggest fight in boxing history, and in a sport where big is measured by dollars, Tyson Lewis could be the richest fight ever. Tickets went on sale today in Memphis for the June 8th fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. The fight Las Vegas turned down. Tennessee is jumping for joy to have. Ringside, $2,400 for those seats. Cheap seats, $250, and they are lining up to buy them. Only 6,000 tickets available to the general public here in the States. 5,000 are headed over to England because of Lennox Lewis. If the fight sells out, that would bring in $19 million, richest ever. Pay-per-view sales are expected to be $1.2 million at $50 a piece. That indeed would make this fight the richest ever for pay-per-view. Also, of course, when all these people show up for fight week, a lot of cash will be headed to Memphis instead of Las Vegas. Plus, what Las Vegas basically has done by turning this fight down is encourage competition for these major events. If Tennessee pulls this off, we could see other cities battling for title fights in the future, which certainly could hurt the local economy long-term and short-term to some degree. Okay. Traffic just became a little bit more crowded in the racing world here in town, as Mario Diaz shows us. Las Vegas will be a player when the green flag falls on the Track Racing League.
Well, it's the biggest shakeup in the racing world since Brooke and Jeff went their separate ways. It's called Track, a new racing league that was unveiled in North Carolina today. The racing concept is simple. 10 cities, 10 teams, each represented by 3 cars. Vipers, Corvettes, and Mustangs. It's team racing unlike never before seen. The website makes it quite clear. They're not racing the family sedan, which is a jab at NASCAR's use of Taurus and Monte Carlos.
These are great race cars. I'll tell you, we've been talking about this concept for about 2 years now, and it's finally come to reality.
Now, the league's first race is scheduled for Charlotte in March of next year. Vegas plans on holding 3 races, and talks early on involve possibly the championship race being held at the end of the season. However, Las Vegas will be a much bigger factor in the end, with one team being based here locally, which means more jobs for the economy.
It's not just drivers and the owner, but also the mechanics, the support people. So it's going to help our economy locally, and we'll hope that the local race team, the team that represents Las Vegas, is successful on the racetrack as well.
Mario Diaz, News 13 Sports.
All right, it's spring, but we've got football news for you. Buffalo Bills fans have something to cheer about. A new quarterback, NFL veteran Drew Bledsoe, showed up at a reception. Oh, this actually is the other video. This is Green Bay video. That's Terry Glenn. Oh, now we're back. There we go with Drew Bledsoe. They gave him a warm welcome there in Buffalo. He's not going to get many of those when that winter lake effect snow starts pouring into the stadium. And you saw Terry Glenn there. He tried out today with the Green Bay Packers as they started to get ready for camp. He's another former New England player. 2 of them today in the news with the NFL.
My Packers. Very good. Thanks.
Yes. Thanks, Ron.
Sure to tune in tonight, 2020. We've been talking about it, highlighting Las Vegas.
That's right. We'll see you back here at 11 with some more behind-the-scenes look at that. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.